Hi everyone, and welcome to Mail Something Pretty. I am Christine Josti, and today I have this really fun card. It's a double floating pop-out card. So let me show you what I mean. It kind of starts like a gatefold card, and then when you open it up, you get this funness. We did this for club, and I'm trying to remember what Michelle's husband calls these a wow's banger cards or something like that. Instead of just a fancy fold, it's a wow banger or something like, oh, I'll have to ask her because it was kind of cute. So anyways, I'm going to show you how to put this together. Aren't they cool? And so I used the Friends of the Ocean paper. You can use whatever you want, but I'm going to show you how to cut or what you need to cut and then how to put it together, and then you can kind of decorate with whatever paper you want. Or if you want to get this sweet, which I do highly recommend, I'm going to show you where you can get it. It is in the current mini catalog, January, and it actually goes through, I think it's May 5th, could be May 4th of 2025, and it's called the Friends of the Ocean Suite, and I just love everything about it. I love the vibrant colors and the images and the cutouts and the jewels and the embossing folder and everything. I love it. And so this is, I don't know if there's, some of these go on to extra pages. Yeah. So you can kind of see, you can do stamping. So we're not doing a whole lot of stamping with this card. It's more the construction of the fold. But anyways, if you need help, you can always order this at mailsomethingpretty.com/shop, or you can contact me. I'd be happy to help you out. Okay, so let me move these to the side a little bit here. And I have all, I'm going to show you all these pieces first because they're all pre-cut, and then we'll do it again step by step. So I've already cut out my, and this is from paper. Already cut out, I cut a little piece around here, and then I use the dies. Here, I have the dies. The stamp set. And I have the dies, and so you get a lobster shape, you get a crab shape, you get some starfish, you get this fun squiggle lines, you get some seagrass, and you get this nice kind of coral or seagrass. Those are the dies that come with it. And then the paper. So you get a whole sheet, or you get two sheets of these. You could either just use this paper, or like I said, I've just kind of cut around it. And then I just use the die to line up and cut them out. Same with the crab. But it's just super, super fun paper. My fingers aren't working. I think there's a mix, there's like 2 packs mixed, and I don't think every sheet is in there, but it's awesome. All right, so I'll show you those. So the card base, we'll start there. The card base is your standard card base. 5 1/4 by 8 1/2, scored at 2 1/8 and 6 3/8. This one I have not scored yet. So let's just do that now. So I'm going to score it at 2 1/8, and this is to make that like gatefold shape. This part. So this is the 2 1/8. You can either flip your card around and do 2 1/8 again, or if you wanted to, you could just do 6 3/8. Oh, I'm like all over the place. So 1, 2, 3. For this particular cutter, this is a Stampin' Up! Cutter. The 6 3/8 is actually right where the line of the dark gray and the light gray are. Like I said, or you could just do 2 1/8 and flip it in 2 1/8. So that works. All right, so that, you know what, that's a slippery because I have that underneath it. Let's see if that's a little better. I'm trying to figure out, because I always get the glare on the glass plate. Sometimes I use vellum, but I'm trying to see if maybe the white paper is better. Let me know if you prefer one or the other. So anyways, there's your kind of your gatefold. So that was for the base. And then maybe we'll just do it. I'll show you. I was trying to think which is the better way. I'll show them all to you, and then I'll point them out again. So the the inside back layer, and you don't have to put one, you can just leave it, you could just leave that plain or white, but I thought it was kind of nice to have background. So that is like a regular layer 4 by 5 1/4. So that will go in there. And then for the panels on the outside and the inside, and again, the inside's optional. I guess the outside's optional, but these two panels and the inside two panels, these ones, they're all the same size. So those are 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. So you need two, one for each side. And then the inner layers, same thing, you need two, the same size, 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. So those will go there. And then you need some construction pieces that you don't really see. Those are in there. Those are, again, you need two, 1 1/2 by 5 1/4. And you're going to score it at 1, 3 1/4, and 4 1/4. And I'll go over those pretty in depth in a moment. And then these panels that go on top, the background, like the for this is Calypso Coral. Those are 3 1/8 by 2 1/2. You need two. And then the white is 2 7/8 by 2 1/4. You need two. So those are all the pieces you need. So let's kind of, now I'll say the measurements again as we make it. So this was the card base. That was 8 1/2 by 5 1/4. And you scored it at 2 1/8. And you either flip it at 2 1/8 or at 6 3/8. And then the inner side, again, this is an optional piece, but I think it kind of makes it, is 4 by 5 1/4. I'm just going to put that right in the middle. And I know this is kind of a busy pattern. I love it, but it's a little busy, especially with all this, but I think because it's in the background, and I think the stripes kind of tone it down a little bit, so it's not really competing with each other. So just kind of pay attention to your patterns. And then we'll start, since we're already opened, the inner panels. These two are going to go here. And these are 1 7/8 by 5 1/4, each of them. Starfish. I hate hiding these starfish, but that would be a little bit too busy. All right. So, and then we'll do the outside panels. And you just, as you put it together, just, this one doesn't really, the stripes can go in any direction, but this does have a direction. So if you would, either flip it, just don't flip it this way. Just pay attention if you have directional paper. So this, because you don't want one of them to be upside down. So I am going to flip it around this way, just because, so it's flat, so it's easier for me to put together. And again, that's the same size, so 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. And all of this designer paper that I'm using comes from that same Friends of the Ocean pack. So this by itself is just a gatefold card. So there you go, you kind of get 2 for 1. And then you could always put, something just on the front, and then there's your gatefold card. But we're going to add some pizzazz to it. So the first thing we're going to do are to use those pieces. They're kind of, I guess, construction pieces. It's what's going to make them move and pop. So you need 2 of them. You're not really going to see them, so technically it doesn't matter what color. I just kept it with the same, the base color that I used, which is Calypso Coral. But they're 1 1/2 by 5 1/4, and you score at 1, 3 1/4, and 4 1/4 for both of them. And so we're going to start with one. And so I was telling my club members, and just kind of, well, you can fold them all. So we're going to start with, you can kind of see there's two score lines. I want that on the right side, and I want the one score line on my left side. And I'm going to put glue right here on the one that's on the left. And what I'm going to do is about a 1/2 inch down, I'm going to turn this over, and right in alignment with this, you can kind of see where it folds. I'm going to put this piece down about a 1/2 inch down, and because I'm using the glue, it gives me a little wiggle room. I can slide it, and so I just want to be able to, have that right angle. So this, it's hard to see because it's the same color. This line is right up against like where it folds. Okay, so that's step one. And then we're going to fold it over. So it's going to come together like this. So now I'm going to put glue on this little section here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it over and push it down. I'm not going to push it down so tight yet, because I'm going to lift it up, and then I'm going to fold it again. And you see how it buckles a little bit? And then I'm going to smooth it out. So then I can close that. And I'm going to do that again. You'll see it down here. But that way it creates nice 90-degree angles. So if you need to kind of pause and rewind to see how I did that, you can do that. Or I'm going to show it to you again, but we're going to do it on the bottom. Now I could just do the reverse of how I did that, but I think it's easy if you just turn your card around, and then you can do the exact same thing that you just did. They liked that much better. So same thing. I'm going to keep the the one section in my left hand, and those two score lines are the right side. And I'm going to put some glue on that section, and then I'm going to kind of flip it over. I'm going to go about a 1/2 inch down. Right, that edge of the paper is in alignment with the fold, and you can lift it up just to make sure. You can even slide it in so they kind of abut each other. And then this piece is going to get folded over. I didn't fold these ones as much. And then I'm going to put glue on this section. I'm going to kind of close that. And then I'm going to close that. Give it a little press, not a big press. Then I'm going to lift it up, and I'm going to close it. And now I'm going to smooth it out, because you don't want those buckles when you close it. You want to be able to close it so it's nice. So then you have those two kind of mechanisms. Isn't that cool? And I will say, I got this idea from Connie Stewart. I meant to say that earlier. I made a few little changes, but she's the one who inspired me for this card. Okay, so now it's kind of decorating a little bit. We have these two bases here, but before I use those, I'm going to stamp. Close my glue so I don't clog it up. So I have 2 7/8 by 2 1/4 for both of these pieces, and I am going to use stamps from this set. There we are. I'm going to use the Lemon Lime Twist, which is the color in this paper. So you can kind of see I just repeatedly stamped a little seagrass there, and I just stamped one, and then I did happy birthday. So that's what I'm going to do. So we'll just stamp one right here, and then this one I'm just going to kind of stamp all over a bit. And I know you can kind of see where I don't want it exactly the same, where it touches, and that's okay, because we're going to put either a crab or a lobster on top of it. I don't know which yet. So those two are stamped. And then I'm going to use Berry Burst, which is also a color in here. And I'm going to use Happy Birthday. This Happy Birthday does not go with this set. I think I took it from Darling Dinosaurs, but there are So many different happy birthdays and all different sets. You can use, you know, whatever you want. All right, so now I can put these on top of these bases here, which are, so the white was 2 7/8 by 2 1/4, and the base here is 3 1/8 by 2 1/2. So it's just a 1/4 inch bigger. You could either write your message on before you attach these to the card or after, because it does flatten out. It's a little wobbly, so it's up to you. But so you could either write the message first or after. I think it's more wobbly because I put some gems on the front, so. Like that. Okay. So now this one's going to go on the top and this one will go on the bottom. Although you could swap. It really doesn't matter, but I was kind of doing it this way. So I'm just going to put some glue directly on this piece. And then, again, remember that glue lets you slide things around a little bit. I'm just going to gently place it here. But I'm going to flatten out, and I'm just want to make sure that the edge of this piece is the same as kind of the edge of the card. And then as I open, I can even push this in to here to make sure it's in alignment there, like that. And I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. I'll make sure that this edge is in alignment with this edge, and then that this is pretty close. The glue definitely helps because it gives you time to slide things around. And if you use some sort of tape runner, just, you know, just kind of get in alignment before you really press. All right, so when we close the card, it closes flat, so it'll fit in an envelope, and then you get the double pop out, which is pretty cool. Okay, so I'm using, again, the lobster and the crab, but as you make your card, you can just leave it like that, or you could add things. So I could either put my lobster on the front, the inside, or I could put the crab on the inside. And I think I'm actually going to put the lobster on the inside because I want to show you something that I did for the front. So this part, you just have to kind of, he moves a little bit. You just want to make sure that he is not peeking out so he fits in an envelope. So kind of what I did is I just put a little glue in his middle. I guessed, and he does overhang on the bottom, and that's okay. I kind of guessed, and I'm going to close it. And as I close the card, I'm just going to slide him down and then give it a press. So wherever he ends is where he fits. Hopefully that makes sense. And so for the front, I love this shape. I don't really know what the shape is called. It is from the Iconic Imagery. I'm using this Celebrate, and it's this piece here, the die, that created this shape. This is currently on the last chance list, so if you like it, now's the time to order it. And I love the big Celebrate. I'm going to use, all right, but before I stamp it, this is what I wanted to show you. I just have to find my pieces here. So what I did is, and this is what I'm going to do. I put my crab on my label, and then I stamped on top of it. So the Celebrate goes a little bit on top of the crab. I thought that was kind of fun. I tried it with the lobster, and I just picked the wrong color lobster. I think if I had an orange lobster, it would have worked better. But because I chose like the pink Berry Burst one, and then I used Berry Burst ink, it's hard to see. And so so what I did instead was, when I put it together, rather than centering this label, I just kind of pushed it over and then made my lobster fit. Because he is big, but he does fit. So I figured I would show you both kind of examples of what I did. So I'm going to attach my crab to my label. And then I'm going to stamp, and hopefully I get it right because I don't have an extra. Okay, it's not quite as dark as I wanted it, but that's all right. So it's just another extra element to stamp on top of the designer series paper. And so what we'll do now is I'm just going to attach with dimensionals. Did I put them back here? Yeah. And I'm just going to put them on one side. Should kind of put it on the crowd too, because I don't want to seal the whole thing shut because then I can't open it. So just put the dimensionals on the left side. Flatten that out, put that right in the middle, and we're almost done. I just want to add a few gems. So these are beautiful. Kind of see the colors. So it's Melon Mambo, Summer Splash, and Pumpkin Pie, and I just think they're fun. So what I'm going to do is, I think I was kind of putting them one on the big label, and then I was doing kind of two. I'll do a big one down here. You can put these guys wherever you want. Oops. So they're kind of one's on the label and then two are stuck. But aren't they fun? You can kind of see that one's pretty similar. I just did different combinations, but there you go. So those are this Delvo floating pop-out card. I just love it. So I hope you love it too. I will put the dimensions and all the thing on my blog too once I get everything uploaded. So be sure to check that. I'll put the link in the description once it's up. But if you have any questions about anything or you want to order anything, just let me know and I'll be happy to help you out. So thank you very much for watching. I'm Christine Josty of Mail Something Pretty. Have a great day.